guys, this is Tracy. Today I'm going to show you how to ungroup and attach and arrange the elements from the free Spring Subway Art SVG from this week. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size so you guys can see this a little better. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit ungroup. And as you can see by looking at the layers panel here and over here, all of the words are individual. So if you wanted to change the colors of any of the words, you could do that, or take a word out. If you wanted to maybe take this section out and add your name in here, if you wanted to add it to maybe a garden flag to put outside, you could do that. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and leave all of these black, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit the attach button. If you have not seen previous videos, the reason that I hit the attach button, and I will show you, let me go ahead and detach this first. If we were going to make this with the words with the way they are right now when they're not attached, if you go down here, you can see that all of the words are all separate. So you would have to place these individually on your design. So that's why we use the attach feature. So we'll go back here and I'm going to hit attach, and then I'm going to hide this just to get it out of our way here. Now the reason that I did not attach the black that's on top of the sun, the flowers, and the butterflies is because those are laying on top of a color. And my goal here with this black right here is to be able to lay this all down at one time and then add the rest of your elements to your project as you make it. So if I were to attach the yellow, the black from the sun right here to this black, you would have to lay your sun down first and then lay everything on top of it, which isn't a big deal. If that's how you choose to do it, that's fine. But I just wanted to explain to you why I do not attach anything that has a color underneath it with my main words right here. So let's go ahead and hide this again. Okay, so we are going to go through and we're going to grab these dots right here. For the pink dots, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find those first, and I want to attach those. Again, if you wanted to change the colors of these, you could. I'm going to hit attach, and I'm going to hide those to get those out of the way. All right, same thing with the yellow. Let's go through and attach. Let me find them here. Okay, we'll attach those, and then we're going to hide those. Okay, now when it comes down to the blue that I have right here, I have the blue as the same color dots here as I do as the top of the umbrella. So I'm going to come through and I'm actually going to send this, arrange, send to back. So I just sent those blue dots to the back so it would be easier for me to grab this umbrella right here. So the umbrella has this little stick here. It's got the handle, the little point here, and then the arm. I'm going to ungroup that. And I want to ungroup this part because these flowers that are right here, the little decoration, those are attached. So let's go ahead and ungroup those. Now I want to grab the blue part of my umbrella. I want to hit my shift button and I want to grab the cluster of blue dots, and I am going to attach that. Okay, and then let's send that back to the back. You can either right click and do send to back, or you can come up to the arrange feature. See, so that you know that those are still there. Now I want to show you on these flowers right here. I'm just going to duplicate this. Oops, wrong button. Let me duplicate the little flowers here so I can show you a little better what these look like here. I'm just gonna let me go ahead and hide the blue so we can get it out of our way here. A little more room to work. Okay, so on these flowers here, if you don't want to cut the black outline part here, you don't have to. The flowers are still going to look, I think they're still going to look cute, but we're going to ungroup this. Now I want to show you on these, this right here you would want to attach. So when you get down to that, you want to go ahead and attach those so they all cut together. Right now they're separate, so they're going to be different. So if you were to go to make this, let me show you on the green here. It's going to have two of them now, but these are all going to be separate. So you could go ahead and you could attach those. So on the flowers down here, I would ungroup these, and I would come to the green part right here and attach that. Okay, let's hide that so we know that we did it. But on these flowers right here, let's go ahead and ungroup this. I want to show you that this is separate. This white part right here, if you don't want to cut these out, you don't have to. You actually could slice this from the pink, especially if you're putting it on like a white canvas or a white shirt or something. This white is actually a color. Okay, so it's not, there's no negative space there. But if you wanted to slice that out, you would just click on that white button, hold your shift button down, grab the pink, and then come down here and slice. And then you would remove those. delete this, so you can hit the delete button on your keyboard. Okay, so then when you bring these back, bring that back to the front. When you lay it on top, your hole is cut out. So like I said, that's optional if you didn't want the white. If you're putting it on something white, you really don't need the white if you want to slice that out. But again, that's totally up to you. And if you decide that you don't want to add or to cut the black, because depending on the size of your project, if you're making something very small, these lines right here could be difficult to cut from your vinyl with your machine. Because remember, all machines have limitations, and if you go too small, it could be difficult to cut. And I really don't want you guys to run into issues with your vinyl cutting. And I know how super frustrating it can be. Same thing with this little bee right here. Depending on the size of your project, if you go too small, that could be difficult to cut. And same with these lines right here. Now, I do make sure that I thicken my lines when I'm designing so that you guys don't have that problem. But again, if you're going to do something that's only 2 inches, obviously that's going to be an issue when it comes to weeding. But I just wanted to show you on these flowers here that you can take them apart if you'd like, change the colors if you like. Same thing with the flower pot right here. We can ungroup that, and that is also separate. If you didn't want to use that, you don't have to. It's just to give a little bit more dimension. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. Get rid of those. And bring our screen back here. Okay. So the flowers we already went over. These right here, these are all together. If you wanted to change the color, you could do that. Let's take a look at these butterflies here. Duplicate these, and I'm going to show you the same way I did with the flowers here. We can ungroup these. Now again, depending on the size of your project, these little dots right here could be difficult to cut if your project gets too small. So you could eliminate those if you wanted to do just the larger ones. Let's go ahead and ungroup these again. Those are the dots for that butterfly, and then this is the outline for the butterfly. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the workings and how things look inside the design here. Sometimes it helps to break it apart and look at it before you cut things. Let's go ahead and delete that, and we'll delete that, and we'll go back. Bring that closer here. Okay, so the parts for the umbrella, if you wanted to attach this bottom part here and the top part, you could. Right now it is just grouped together, which you can see over here, which means that this part's going to be one piece to cut, this part's a piece to cut, and this part is a piece to cut. So there's 3 pieces here. But that's up to you. Some people like to leave them separate so that when you go to lay them together, it's easier to line them up when you have them separate like that. I think I've gone over all the different parts in here and as to why I would not attach some of the parts. This bumblebee here, I would not attach to anything else. I would cut that separately. That is actually the black. This is all solid, and the yellow lays on top. The sun is solid, and then that black part lays on top. Again, if you wanted to leave that black part off, you could. So let's go ahead and bring the pieces back here. I just like to hide them as I'm designing, as I'm setting up my project before I cut it. That way I know in my head that I've already done it, and also I can see which parts go together and how it's going to lay together. So now I'm going to bring all these pieces back here. And remember, whatever you see on your screen, that's not going to determine the color of your project. Color of your vinyl that you use, that's how you're going to know what your project color is. So let me make sure I'm unhiding everything here. And this one here. If you wanted to change the colors of your umbrella, you can do that. But that's it for this week's project, guys. I believe everything is attached now. You can always go over, and these are the dots for the flowers. You can always go through and make sure things are attached the way you want them. If you wanted to attach those, you could. I personally would not attach any of the skinnier line pieces here. I would lay those all separately, just because they're sometimes harder to weed when they're thin like that. And if they're all together, it could be a nightmare trying to get all those weeded in one piece. It's the top part for the sun. Little butterfly, we go through and look at everything. All right, and remember, if you're going to use HTV, you need to make sure, remember to mirror your design. Also, if you're somebody who forgets to mirror and you know you're using HTV, if you group your entire project, you can actually come up here and you can flip it. Then you know your project's going to be mirrored when you go to make it. But that's just a little tip that if that's something that you struggle with remembering to flip your design when you go to mirror it, that's a little tip for you. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys like this week's project. You can find it in the Freebie library. It is design number 145. And I'll also have all the fonts listed that I used and the links to where you can find them. I would love to see what you guys make. Don't forget to come over to the Facebook group and show it off if you make it. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day.